Welcome to Quilter's Playground. Today we have a fun topic. We're going to go over creative couching with the couching foot. So if you guys haven't played with this yet, this is a fun tool that I'm excited for Karla to show us today. And you asked who's part of Grace Company. So we have Karla, Jerry, Marie, Aubrey, myself, and Jana. So we're all a fun part of the Quilter's Playground team here at Grace Company. With Quilter's Playground, we do the Quilter's Playground classes on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month at 5 p.m. Utah time. We will only have one this month and one next month due to the holidays. So you guys can enjoy those lovely holidays. And then we have our Need a Little Help sessions that are the first and third Tuesdays of the month at 12 o'clock noon Mountain Time. And those are a shorter, more focused Q&A session on specific items. And then as we talked earlier, we have our on-site classes. We just posted through May with almost 40 classes, and then we'll post the rest of the year later. So there's lots of options to see basic classes, advanced classes, design. We're doing a fun class with the Dream Big panel from Hoffman. So if you guys have seen those, we're doing automation and free motion classes with those. That'll be a really, really fun time. And I will turn this over to Karla and let Karla do her thing.
All right, so couching is using yarn or a thicker thread to embellish your quilt. That's what couching is. And there's a specific foot that we have that's called the couching foot, and it's a part of the 9-piece foot set. So if you guys like what you see today and you don't have the 9-piece foot set, then it might be something you want to ask Santa Claus for Christmas. All right, so here is my PowerPoint presentation. So couching is just, like I said, using yarn, and it's kind of, you're right, Nita, it is like chenille, and you can buy that yarn, oh gosh, so many different styles. I just went to Walmart and bought white today, and I just drew this on, and I'm just going to talk about couching for free motion and automation. So we're going to cover both of them because we're only doing one class this month and next month. So we're going to cover both today. So with free motion, I use chalk, but you could also cut out snowflakes with paper template and draw it on your fabric and then use that as your outline for couching. And notice I didn't do that great of a job, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to draw a little gingerbread house. Use chalk or whatever you like to use to mark on your quilts. I just had this chalk, and so I used it, and it does come off pretty easily. But with this chalk, I know that my yarn is going to cover it, so it'll actually look a lot better. And then the other thing you need to do if you're using the couching foot is to raise your stitches per inch up so you get more stitches as it's tacking down the yarn. Okay, so just remember that to raise it up. So I'm just going to jump into my very first video and show you how I did it. So notice that I drew my little gingerbread on my striped fabric on. And then I'm going to thread my machine with the couching foot. I'm going to couple of stitches, and then I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to cut.
Can you turn your volume up?
I will try. I thought it was all the way up. Karla, I got some right here. I'm cutting. Okay. Thread it. I'm going to decide if I'm going to do the windows first. And I can, but I don't want it to be a continuous line. So I can just stabilize my stitch. Notice I have my little tail hanging out here. I'm just going to stabilize it right here in this corner. And then I want to change my SPI to higher SPI. So I'm on 15. And then I'm just going to go slower. I could go up again, go across, and stop it right there, stabilize it, and then pull it away. Okay, that's all you do. I'll show you the finished when it's done. Okay, so that's the video, and it's as easy as that, you guys. And you can fill in. I noticed that when I go back up to this page here, I filled in the heart with the red. And yes, I have some little yarn flakes all around, and it's not perfect, but it's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun. I shouldn't say it's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. And if you like free motion quilting, try it. Now we're going to jump into the automation side of it because we don't want to eliminate any different ways that we can quilt. And so this is the automation side. Okay, the first thing that you want to do if you're going to use the couching foot while it's automated is change the stitches per inch to be a higher stitches per inch. So you're going to go into your help, tap on settings. You're going to find your quilting settings in this screen, bottom left. Okay, it says quilting settings. Go into there and you're going to change it. You want it to be about 14 or 15. You want it to be really high to stabilize the yarn as it's quilting. Tap on OK and OK. That's one video. Okay, so that is one video. I wanted to show you because with the automation, it has different settings than your machine. So if you're seeing 14 stitches per inch, that's not what your automation may be set at. So that was from the home screen. You go into the help and then you can change your quilting settings. I always had a hard time because you had to get to the quilting interface screen and I'd always forget to change my settings to what works well. So he built it in so that you can go in where you change your settings from the home screen in the help. And then you'll tap on settings and find it that way. And we can go through that again when I show you some more of the automation. So the next video is picking the design, and I did a snowflake design and quilting it out. This is probably a little longer. Wait. So did that. Okay, yeah. I'm going to select and sew. I'm going to pick my snowflake design. Notice that we've broken it up into 3 different snowflakes, okay? And I have my 4 points that I'm going to use, but I'm also going to use multi-block. When I go into multi-block, I'm going to tap on OK because now I'm going to be using these buttons here. I'm going to place my first block. I'm going to align my foot over the corner, tap on my placement node, and continue on. Okay. This will be my first snowflake. Okay, and notice it's kind of down just slightly. I don't want that, so I'm going to kind of lift it up. There's a little bit of variance in this, and I'm going to tap on where it says pattern to capture it. Okay, now I want to use this point and this point to be captured for this one. So I want to say tap on X, and then I'm just going to hop over because this is uniform. It doesn't matter if I flip it. I'm going to come over to here, and I'm going to tap on this one and this one. This node and this node. Okay, see how they're matching up? My points are aligned. Now I can tap on pattern, and I can tap on my X, and then I can go and do my last one. Pattern, tap on my X, and I'm ready to go into quilt. Okay. Now you're connected to your automation. Okay. All right. Let's thread. For this one, Probably should have done it while I was on the other screen. So I'm going to go back a screen, okay? I'm not going to change my placements or anything. I'm just going to go back a screen and I'm going to start my yarn, okay? And I'm just going to align it right underneath the the needle, and then hold it and just do a couple little single stitches. And then when I turn it on, now it's threaded, okay? So now I can cut it. So I'm going to pull it forward, and now I can cut my threads, and it's all threaded for me, okay? So I'm going to move it to where I think it's going to start. When I tap on quilt, it's going to show me. It's right over here. It's going to start right there. It's going to end right here. You're going to have jumps in between. I'm not going to worry about those jumps. I don't care. I'm not even going to cut my threads. I'm just going to make sure that I have enough thread while it's quilting, and I can actually go right here and move to start point. I went into the toolbox, you guys. It's going to take me. I was pretty close. I move to start point. I'm going to pull on my threads, and now I can tap on sew. Pull your yarn out of the way, and then just let it do its thing. Okay, that's all I have to do. And we'll show. All right, so here's what it looked like when they're all three done. Okay, so I did changed it up just a little bit, okay? So this one was straight on where the little points on the side went straight. On this one, I rotated it. I went back and I rotated it because I didn't like them all three lined up right in a row. And then I changed this one a little bit too. So do whatever you want to make it less uniform or a little more quirky or how you like it, okay? So I'm just showing you the two that I liked. I didn't like the first one, how it sewed out. So anyway, we're going to just make a cute little pillow. Now I could go back and fill this in with free motion quilting and make these even more stark. It's just so easy to use the couching foot. So if you, now that you have your outline, you could also, without the yarn, sew the outline of your design, of your snowflake design, and then use your free motion and go around it, filling it in. So there are lots of different ways. Okay, so I wanted to jump in and talk to you about Font Stitcher and how to access it, okay? So I wrote up some instructions on how to access it, but I'm going to go into my automation and show you. So this is how you access, okay, in the gold features. Okay, Font Stitcher. There are a couple places that you can access it. One is from the home screen, tapping on Gold Features, going to Font Stitcher. So I have to pull everything over. Okay, so this is Font Stitcher. The first thing we want to do is type in a word. So we're going to type in happy, because you're happy to be here. Okay, happy, and then you can go and save this, or you can continue on and make a space, and you could do holidays. And then right here where it says the font name or font type, if you tap on this little window right here where it says that, it will open up your kind of your font library of different fonts, okay? And you can use the arrows. It's just like the design library, but for fonts. And they're Windows fonts that are loaded in. So if you want to go and pull in some free fonts, you can also do that. That's a lot of fun. and pull those in. But then the arrows you can pick and choose and change. So say I didn't like and I wanted to see what it looked like in Old English. And I want to tap on OK. That's what it looks like. I don't know that I like that, but got to remember that's how it'll sew out. Now, with each of these letters, you're going to have jumps because it won't be a continuous line, you guys, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. And you can just let it go and jump from one to the next and babysit it all the way along. And then you can save this if you want to, tapping on OK, and it brings your design library back up, and you can tap in where it says file name here. You can tap right there. It'll bring your keyboard over up, and you can type what you want it to be. And I'll put Karla, and then space QPG. Okay, and then I'll do another space and test, and enter, and then save. All right. So now it's brought me over, okay? And it kind of defaults to 4-point placement, and you can go and place your design, okay? Okay, so with words and lettering, okay, if you don't like it to stretch and you want it to be a more of keep its aspect ratio or its design height, you might not like stretch. Now, if it's a short word, like happy, you could make it go to fit, okay? So now it's going to keep the aspect ratio, and now you're going to have a little margin on the bottom and the top. So you guys decide how you want to use it and quilt it out. Now, some of us get really fixated on keeping everything nice and uniform, and other times you may want it to stretch. So you can do stretch or fit, and stretch and fit are down underneath. If you're changing your placement style, yeah, just click on stretch. See how it pulls it? It kind of distorts it. So now it's filling in top to bottom, side to side. Fit just keeps it nice and uniform and even. All right. So then you'll go into quilt and quilt it out. So this is what I was talking about, all the breaks. So you don't want to go in and optimize this, you guys, at all, because those breaks are intentional. And if I did go in to optimize it, I want to show you what it'll do. And I know some of us are used to remove all. Okay. So see those stitching lines? You don't want those in there. If you go and remove all those nodes, it'll do where it stops and move over to the next, and it'll add that stitching line in there. So don't do it. Just let it stop and then restart it again. Okay. So another thing that you can do, if you don't want to sit there and babysit it, on this screen and on the home screen, I forgot to tell you this, in the settings button again, okay, where we changed our SPI. Come on, it won't let me move it. Dang it. All right, well, I can't move it. Where you changed your SPI, if you uncheck posit trim lines, it will stitch off a stabilizing stitch to hold it, and then it will automatically move to the next stop and start point, okay? So you don't have to sit there and babysit it the whole time. So sorry I couldn't move that, but I'll try to go in and show you from the settings. So anyway, that's how you will quilt using font stitchers. And it's a really fun way to use your couching foot as well to write words, lettering, whatever. I'm going to come back in here, hopefully, the settings. Okay, come on. There we go. And these settings right here, I'm hoping it doesn't jump off. There we go. Right here where it says posit trim lines, if you uncheck that, it will allow you to not have to sit there and babysit it. So otherwise you will. All right. All right. Let's ask question.
So let's talk about material because you said the yarn was chenille, right? Is there any other one like a yarn that's fun to do, or is it purely just chenille?
Really, the chenille that works the very best, but you can use some thinner yarns. You get 3 different sizes of a couching foot. So it actually has a smaller hole. So just try them out and play with them. It's a great way to play with your yarns that you have from old knitting and crochet.
From your stash, huh?
Yep.
And then to reiterate with couching, it's not like a zigzag stitch across the yarn. It's a straight stitch, but you want small stitches so that it fills in the yarn as you go.
Mm. Yes, so that's why I changed the stitches per inch. Now for free motion quilting, sometimes I like to use cruise mode because the needle's constantly going up and down, moving up and down. It doesn't
Yeah.
ever stop. So if I, paused, it would actually stabilize and give me a stitch to stabilize it from start to stop. And
Okay.
sometimes I use manual mode too.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are 3 couching feet. Which one do you use when? How do you know when to use which
I
one?
use the largest one, the largest hole for the chenille. And then if it's a smaller yarn thickness, I will use one of the other sizes.
And then how do you end your stitch with the couching yarn so that it's not like frayed or just an open yarn? Do you do like fray check on there or?
You could if you wanted to. I just cut it and it's okay. I haven't had any problems with it. The only
Okay.
time I've really had problems with it was when it wasn't pulling through correctly and it kind of missed and it didn't stabilize it where I wanted it to. So move
Okay.
slower when you're using it for free motion or put it on slow if you're using the automation. Don't use medium speed.
And then Medi said, repeat what you said about pause the trim line.
Oh, pause the trim lines. Okay. So if you uncheck that, when it comes to a stop, it will tie off the stitch, okay, and then automatically move to the next one. On the screen, you'll have move to next. You don't have to push that button every time and then sew.
Okay, so we have a question with washing. When you do the chenille and the couching, can you wash the quilt? Is the is it gonna fray away after you wash it
Yeah,
or?
you can, however, okay, it's fine. However, I would go over it a couple of times to really stabilize it if you're going to wash it.
And Facebook. We have a Facebook page now for our fabric store. So if you're a local, it's great. If you're not a local, it's great. There's all sorts of fun stuff. And along the same line as Jerry said, we do a midweek masterpiece on Wednesdays where we highlight someone's quilts and what they made it on. So you can also send it to me and I'll give you a Facebook shout out and all that kind of fun stuff. And if you have quilting communities, you think this page would be fun to add on there and let them know, please help us spread the word of our fun page. And if you're a local, we have some crazy deals on Black Friday on fabric here at the fabric store. So here's our YouTube page. We post our Quilters Playground videos on here, as well as we're actually going to post some QMX videos on here for beginners talking about how to get it started and all the tips and tricks to it. So make sure you check out that and then like, subscribe, and follow and all the fun stuff for YouTube.